So I'm washing tables and chairs again because that's what or mostly chairs, because that's a lot of what I do. I wash a lot of chairs. This video, however, is not about washing chairs, so don't go anywhere. Don't think that this is going to be another long, boring video about washing chairs. This video is about growing your inventory, but you will have to put up with me washing chairs, which means that I will occasionally go out of the picture to stack the chairs on the clean stack or get more chairs to wash or something like that. So, how do you grow your inventory when you're first starting out? If you are starting out kind of from scratch like I did, and you are, well, you don't have a lot of money. You're on a budget. And the answer is start with what you have. I started out with about 8 black metal folding chairs that are really cheap, but they're also really uncomfortable. They don't stack. They're hard to store. And I'm going to take you with me over here so that I can get another stack of chairs to wash. So I started out with those 8 chairs and 2 lifetime folding tables, 6-foot plastic tables that fold in half, so the 3-foot long one folded up, that I bought at Sam's Club. And I grew from there. And you may have to start that way. If you have a little more money and you can invest and either buy more tables at a time or buy the wooden ones, that's great. But if you don't, and you're starting out from scratch, then you can just, you got to do what you got to do. But the thing is, I'm going to tell you guys something that you may not want to hear. Do not start a party rental company as a side gig. Do not start a party rental company as a weekend warrior. Now, there is nothing wrong if you start as a weekend warrior with the intention of growing into a full-fledged party rental company. But if you're going to start out just being a weekend warrior and you're renting tables and chairs, then it really just kills your weekends and you don't make enough money for it to be worth it. If you are doing bounce houses, then don't go into it with the idea that you're going to buy one bounce house and just be a weekend warrior and make a couple of $100 every weekend without one bounce house. And I'll tell you why. Because the insurance on bounce houses is enough that one unit you are not going to make any money. The insurance will eat up pretty much everything that you would make, and if you don't have insurance, you are taking a huge risk. If somebody gets hurt on one of your bounce houses, taking the risk of being sued and losing your real house or your car or truck. You can go, well, I live in an apartment, whatever. They can still sue you, and you'll be paying it for years if you don't have insurance. Don't do it. But, so how do you grow? And the answer is, you grow as the needs of your business dictate, and you grow as you have the money. For example, when I got to where I had about 16 chairs, because I've been slowly buying more, I got a call from somebody and they wanted to rent 20 chairs. I did not have them. When you get a call for something that you don't have, you have a couple of options. Those options are not take the job, which if it's a really big job, if you have 8 chairs and somebody calls for 300, you're not probably going to be able to do it. Your other option is to sub-rent, meaning you rent them from another party rental company and then rent them out to your customer. You can do that to a certain extent, but there are some problems with it. I probably will at some point do a video about sub-renting and my thoughts on it, but sometimes that's not an option. So if you can't sub-rent and it's not hugely more than what you have, it's not 300 when you've got 16. Well, if you've only got 16, the answer is you buy 4 more. So I would put the customer on hold, get online, go to Walmart's page, and so I needed 4 more chairs. I would make sure that Walmart had like 10 in stock. That way, when I got done with my customers for the day from my other business, my windshield repair business, then I'd run to Walmart and I'd buy 4 more chairs. And sometimes I spent the day while I was finishing up my last few customers at Walmart, or at my rock chip business, trying to get to Walmart, praying that Walmart did not have somebody show up and buy all 10 of the chairs they had in stock, so I couldn't get the 4 that I needed. But apparently God was blessing me because that never happened with chairs. And eventually I got to where I had about 30 of those black chairs. What happens is that you do a lot of jobs that you don't make any money on. If I'm renting 20 chairs to somebody and I have to buy 4 of them to get that job, then I not only may not make money on that job, but it might cost me more to buy those 4 chairs than I made on renting out the 20. But what it does is it grows your inventory. And that's how I grew up until I had 30 of those white chairs, or those black chairs, and that's when I started buying these white chairs. With tables, it was kind of the same thing. I got to where I had about 17 tables, and I would have somebody call and say, hey, we want to rent 20 tables. And so I would say, let me put you on hold and see if I have 20 tables available. And I'd get on the Sam's Club website, make sure they had the tables in stock, take the booking, and then go to Sam's Club and buy 2 or 3 more tables. With the tables, I did get caught a couple of times where I didn't check their website to make sure that they had them, and I assumed that they would, because the last time I'd been there they had, 15 or 20 of them. And I got there and they did not have any tables, so I had to go buy some cheaper ones that I didn't like as much at Walmart. And there was even one time when Walmart was out and I had to go buy them at a sporting goods store that we have here called Academy. It is a chain, they may or may not have it where you are. And gotta get some more chairs, hang on. And so I ended up with, over time, about 10 tables that didn't match the others I had, because I'd been buying them all from Sam's and they were all the same brand. And I've still got those tables, and when I have a really big event like a trade show, a craft fair, a gun show, something like that at the Civic Center or whatever, and they want to rent a bunch of tables, those go out then, but that's about the only time that they go out, because they don't match the rest of them and I don't really like them, and they're not as good as quality. But again, I built my inventory slowly, buying them one or two at a time, or a couple of times when I had a couple of really big jobs and I had a little bit of extra money in the bank account that I hadn't planned on. And a big job back then for me was, $200. Then instead of just buying them one or two at a time when I needed them to fill a customer's order, I actually a couple of times went to Sam's and just bought 5 tables, even when I didn't need them, because I wanted to grow. So I grew my table inventory, sometimes 1 or 2 at a time, and sometimes 5 at a time. And now, including those 10 that I really don't like to rent out, total 6-foot rectangle tables, I've got about 50 of them. I think 52. And the same thing kind of happened with the chairs. After I got to where I had about 30 of those black chairs and I was starting to do enough events that I had a little bit of money, then I got online and I ordered these white stacking chairs, which are the first of the 3 kinds of chairs that I have now that I got. I would buy them in sets of 10 because I couldn't afford to buy in bulk. And I still buy them in sets of 10 actually. And every time I could afford it, I would buy another 10 chairs. There's once or twice where I bought 20 chairs at a time. And it took a while, but I slowly built my inventory up. And that's kind of what you have to do. You have to build your inventory slowly. There are companies like Palmer Snyder, like Tent and Table, that have really good deals where you can buy chairs like these. If you get them during the right time of the year when they're on sale, you can get them for about $12-13 a piece. I've never had the money to buy in bulk at one time and pay for the shipping. So I have bought mine on Amazon, 10 or 20 chairs at a time. And That is how I built my inventory. 10 or 20 chairs at a time. And that's might be how you have to build your inventory. 10 chairs at a time. 5 tables at a time. 2 chairs at a time. 2 tables at a time. 1 table at a time. Whatever it takes to grow your business. And you have to keep putting that money back into your business, buying more tables, buying more chairs to grow your business. And this is part of why I say don't do this if you're going to be the weekend warrior trying to rent tables and chairs, because eventually your tables and chairs will get dinged, scratched, dented, beat up, and you'll have to rent them, or you'll have to replace them. And if you ever want to have to where you're getting a decent size payout, you're not doing $25 events, then you're really gonna have to grow. $25 events aren't worth doing. And the only way you can get those $25 events is to do what I did starting out, eating the cost of gas and the mileage on your vehicle and delivering for free and advertising on Facebook. It's not worth it. It's not a good side gig to make money on. But if you're serious about building your business to the point where you can get the bigger bookings to where you can grow it into a business that is eventually going to be your full-time job, or at least big enough to where it's a full-time job on the weekends and you have rentals and you do it every weekend, then you're going to have to grow. And if you don't have a lot of money to invest to start with, then start out with what you can. Go to Sam's Club and buy a couple of tables. Go to Walmart, and as much as I hate them, buy some of those cheap black $14 metal chairs. Buy the $15 or $59 folding table at Sam's Club. And that's how you start, and that's how you grow your business. And that's how I've grown mine. Now I look at orders that are less than $200. I still do a lot of them, because when you put them together, you add them up, it's a lot of money. If you get 5 $200 orders a month, well, that's $1,000. But I'm really trying to get orders that are bigger than that now, that are more money. But I couldn't have done that. I couldn't get to where I am, where people will rent the things that they rent from me, if I hadn't started with the 8 or so chairs and the 2 tables. Spend some money out of pocket, start advertising on Facebook, go ahead and buy them, make sure you have them on hand, and start your business. And build it 1 or 2 pieces at a time if you have to. If you can build it 50, 60, 200 chairs at a time, if you have those resources, great. But if you only have the money to start building your business, buying one $14 chair at a time, then buy one $14 chair at a time. And after you get enough of them, then you'll be in the party rental business. When you get to where you have 20, 25 chairs, you'll start booking baby showers. When you get to where you have 40, 50 chairs, you'll start booking small weddings. When you get to where you have 100 chairs, you might be able to start booking some medium-sized chairs. And the first time that you book an event that's 100 chairs and 20 tables, and they write you a $600 check, you will realize why you got into this business. The light clicks on and you go, yes, this is worth doing. I can build this into something that is a profitable party rental company that eventually will be my full-time job. Or that I can make enough doing it consistently every single weekend that I can pay off my car or help my kid go to college or buy a car for my kid or whatever it is that your goal is for getting into the business. Just don't do it, as I said, to make an extra 50 bucks a weekend. It's not worth it for that. You either do it or you don't. But it's a great business to be in. I like it. I have a lot of fun. And with that, I think we'll wrap up this video. But remember, when you're in the party and event rental business, it's always a good time to have a party.